Today we are going completely back in time to the Middle Ages to explore one of Geoffrey Chaucer's most famous and spooky stories from the Canterbury Tales. It is called The Pardoner's Tale. The Canterbury Tales is a massive collection of stories written by many different characters who are all traveling together on a pilgrimage. The Pardoner's Tale is just one specific story told by one of those characters. Before the story, we must meet the man telling it, the pardoner. Long ago, a pardoner was a church worker. His job was to collect money for the church. In return, he gave people a pardon, a note that said their sins were forgiven. But our pardoner is a fraud, and he looks very unique. Chaucer describes him as having long, thin yellow hair that looks like wax, wide glaring eyes like a rabbit, a voice as small as a goat's, and a completely smooth face without a beard. In fact, the pardoner proudly admits to his audience that he is a hypocrite. He carries around a bag of fake relics like an old sheep's bone and a mitten, and tells poor, uneducated people that these items have magical powers to cure sick animals or make crops grow. He admits that he preaches the exact same sermon everywhere he goes, and his main theme is always a Latin phrase, radix malorum est cupiditas, which means greed is the root of all evil. The incredible irony here is that the pardoner only preaches to make himself rich. He tells the group that he refuses to live in poverty. He wants money, wool, cheese, and wine, even if he takes it from a starving widow. Now that we know how greedy and tricky the storyteller is, let us hear his famous tale. The story takes place in Flanders during the time of Black Death. The main characters are three young men known as the rioters. These guys are absolutely troublemakers. They spend all their time in the local tavern drinking way too much wine, gambling with dice, and swearing terrible oaths, which the pardoner says is a horrible sin that insults God. Very early one morning, while they are drinking in the tavern, they hear a bell ringing outside. In those days, the bell meant a dead body was being carried to the graveyard. They ask a servant boy who died, and the boy tells them it was an old friend of theirs. The boy warned them that their friend was suddenly killed by a sneaky thief named Death, who has been going around the country killing thousands of people with his spear. The three drunk friends became furious. They make a solemn promise to be brothers and swear that they will hunt down this traitor named Death and kill him before nightfall. The three angry men run out of the tavern to find Death. Before they even walk half a mile, they meet a very poor, very old man who is wrapped completely in clothes with only his face showing. The old man has a terribly sad secret: he cannot die. Instead of feeling sorry for him, the young men are extremely rude and mean. They accuse the old man of being a spy working for Death. They demand to know where Death is hiding. The old man calmly points towards an old oak tree. The three rioters sprint to the oak tree, but when they get there, they do not find a monster or a killer. Instead, they find a massive pile of shiny, beautiful gold coins. Instantly, the men completely forget about their promise to kill Death. They are overjoyed. However, the smartest one realizes they cannot carry the gold back to town during the day, or people will think they are thieves and hang them. They must guard the gold and wait for night time. And they decide to draw straws to see who will run back to town to secretly buy bread and wine while they wait. The youngest man draws the shortest straw and heads off to town. As soon as the youngest man leaves, the two older men make a wicked, greedy plan. They realize that if they only divide the gold 2 ways instead of 3, they will be much richer. They agree that when the youngest comes back, they will pretend to play wrestle with him and then stab him to death with their daggers. But the youngest man is also walking to town dreaming about the gold. The devil puts an evil idea into his head. If he kills his 2 friends, he can have all the treasure for himself. He goes straight to the pharmacist in the town and asks to buy the strongest, deadliest poison available. He lies and says he needs it to kill some rats and a polecat that are eating his chicken. And the pharmacist gives him the poison. The young man borrows 3 large bottles. He pours the deadly poison into 2 of the bottles for his friends and keeps the 3rd bottle completely clean for himself to drink. He fills them with wine and heads back to the oak tree. When the youngest man returns to the tree, the trap is sprung. Exactly as planned, the 2 older men attack him and brutally stab him to death. Now there are only 2 men left. Thrilled that the gold is theirs, they decide to sit down, drink the wine and celebrate before they bury their dead friend's body. By total chance, the first man grabs one of the poisoned bottles, drinks from it and passes it to his friend. In a matter of moments, the terrible poison does its work and both of the remaining men fall down dead right next to the gold. All 3 men went looking for death under the oak tree, and because of their own greed, this is exactly what they found. As soon as he finishes, he turns to the pilgrims listening to him and has the nerve to ask them for their gold and silver in exchange for his fake pardons. He specifically calls out the host, telling him he is the most sinful and should come kiss his old fake relics for a free. The host gets incredibly angry. He yells at the pardoner and threatens to violently cut off his private parts. The pardoner is so furious and embarrassed that he completely loses his voice and refuses to speak. Finally, the noble knight steps in to break up the fight. He commands the host and the pardoner to kiss and make peace, and the group continues on their journey.